TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Doubt and fear.
Thank God it's Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Muriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima Akasha Zubiri. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you, ladies, for bailing me out. As I did so now, no get pause, no driver's license, no ATM, nothing. I dare not get in trouble today. Just go jet to my office, meet my client, and go back home. But I want to do a shout out to Mrs. Oluremi Amza. Today is her birthday.
It's been a long time.
I remember meeting her. So beautiful, such a warm
today's her birthday.
spirit.
I didn't
Today's
even
her
know.
birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Oluremi Amza.
One person.
Ah, nice.
She hugged me, and I was like,
yes.
Happy birthday, ma. Many more fruitful years. So nice to know you.
She loves to. Anytime she sees me, she's like, oh, how you guys? Let me regards to the ladies.
Oh,
she's always
I'm
really
yet to meet her.
excited.
Such a warm-spirited person.
How you doing, Tokwe?
Please. You have to address me right, Madam President.
President, are you the past president?
Yes.
Oh,
I was wondering politicians would come and they would say, my people wanted me to campaign, my people wanted me.
So tell us your own story.
Oh, honestly.
Your people.
My people wanted me. And genuinely, I was just, immediately they said we should elect that. They might be coming in late, but we really need someone to represent the class. We have the class president, vice president. I was even nominating somebody else as president. And I was really shouting that person's name. There's a guy in class. I was like, this guy should be president. People started sending me messages, no, you should be the president. You should be the president. I was like, I wasn't thinking about it. By yesterday morning, I had a self-appointed campaign manager who was going from group to group to go and tell everybody that CMO for president, CMO for president. I did not have to ask anybody to vote for me. When the results came out,
your people called you.
My people called me. I was like, oh,
thank you.
This feels so good. So next time a politician comes down and says, my people called me, I will be looking at it.
You now understand.
Because really, sometimes it can pressure you.
When people are coming around you.
And they keep saying, Mura, it was so much. You go to the election next week Tuesday. The product program head was like, I think that this campaign has taken over the class. Let us just quickly finish up the election. But it was really fun to feel like.
That's why it's
absolute
for me,
power.
it's humbling.
It's humbling.
Because people are saying that.
You
don't see money now. Your position don't get money.
Somehow.
Is it not to read? It's reading. The real president.
But no, let's not take away the value. The value. People really want it.
Yes.
But it's a responsibility also.
And you wanted it too, because if the people wanted you did not want it, you will say no.
I just feel like somebody else that might not be good enough might take the position that is not selfless and thinking for the people.
You know. We're happy that you're the
We're
president.
happy for you. President Stockwell.
Class captain.
Class president.
I'm doing great. I'm okay.
Is this silk?
It's cotton.
Silk. It's cotton.
It's
Yeah,
cotton.
it's cotton. Love it.
Thank you. I'm just taking it easy. I'm all right. I'm good.
What's happening this weekend? Who's asking you already?
Plenty. I have a lot of teachings to do. We have evolved to become more virtual. We're starting today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm constantly going to be teaching. So I'm trying to conserve my energy. My mentorship class has started. Saturday, 8 p.m., I'm teaching again. You know, on Sunday, I have something else I'm teaching. So it's a lot of teaching energy. So I'm just trying to, conserve. I'm all right.
Okay, fantastic.
What's your own plan for the weekend?
You know what?
Well, so today, finally, I have, my meeting was cancelled, so I'm going to be hanging out with all my old friends.
Oh, you have old friends?
You're hanging out with Wumi.
Yeah, I'm going to be hanging
That's
out
cool.
with them, having lunch, just catch up.
Let me come and photobomb you.
You're not an old friend.
I know the two of them, but I can...
So I'll come on, I'll go just hanging out with them today.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Nurturing
Touch
relationships.
base, yes, touch base,
Amazing.
Weekend, great. Sunday, just
Church as usual.
see how that goes. Let's go on a break and we come back. We go through the front pages of the paper. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
We're going to start with the nation. Buhari to military, replicate Northeast feat nationwide. I'm happy to be back, says Tinubu. Rivers withdraws charges against Amechi and others. Ngige accuses Jega of bias in federal government/ASU face-off. Ethiopia suspends visa on arrival policy. Rivers Assembly deletes Umehia as ex-governor. Lai Mohammed PDP clash over corruption claim. Redeemer is Nigeria's best private varsity. And Aisha Buhari Wike for conference. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Rivers, quickly. So Rivers State House of Assembly finally did something commendable. They delisted the former, just a short period of time, Celestine Ngozi Umehia was governor just before Rotimi Amechi won in the Supreme Court to be as governor and took over from him. So it was an election petition issue. He had won at the elections, but there were issues because he was nominated from, I think, from party. They had an inter-PDP issue at the time. Amechi was in court, and just a few months in office, he was now made former governor, getting all the entitlements, pension and all of that. And so finally, his governorship between May 29 and October, now they collect pension of the same year.
How many years?
May 29 to October 24, don't collect pension. As in just enter, come outside, collect pension, that kind of thing. But eventually, the House of Assembly sat up, insistent on the Governor Wike's insistence, and they delisted him. They also ordered that he should refund 696.5 million that he received as governor, as a former governor, back to the states.
How is that possible?
That's the law.
But why did he receive that?
Why did they give him?
But we should even have more. No, they should have a proper structure. As I should head in office and come, I can do governor one day.
But the law backs it up.
I don't think the law backs it.
No,
if you lose an elective office, you don't become former governor.
The law was not very explicit on that. As long as you execute, so that's why he was collected with. So we have to move on. Tell our hot topic.
Major
headline.
No, not major headline. The picture
stories.
Picture.
Tinubu is back.
Yes. The presidential candidate for the APC has announced, I am happy to be back. He was received by his vice presidential candidate running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima. He was also received by the Plateau State Governor, the Deputy Director General of the APC presidential campaign. He was received by Simon Lalong, Comrade Adams Oshemole, former Lagos Finance Commissioner Wale Edun. He said his trip was very good. He said he's rested and he said, I enjoyed my break. I'm happy to be back to my fatherland. He also mentioned that Nigerians should expect a very intelligent ability to think, rethink, and perform. He said Nigerians should expect the help they need is here. And that, I like this word, hope is back actively. We will serve our country with patriotism and dedication. And he also mentioned there's no room for negative thinking.
Right.
No Nigeria has failed, and it will not fail. So,
okay. So the federal government has alerted Nigerians to Ethiopian government suspension of visa on arrival policy. The suspension is to non-resident foreigners at all points of entry. And this statement was given by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, that the Ethiopian government blamed security concerns. So normally when you're traveling to countries like that, you can go in, then get visa on arrival. But now you have to go to the embassy and get your visa stamp. And this started on the 29th of September 2022. However, they also said that that's the Ethiopian authorities trying to explain that the measure is aimed at a better border control of movement of persons into Ethiopia in view of the ongoing armed conflict in the northern part of the country. The measure is said to be temporary, pending improvement in the security situation in the country, and not a replacement of Ethiopia's open visa policy. Therefore, Nigerians should not think that it was targeted at them, to every other citizens of the world who are trying to get into Ethiopia. Hopefully, when things subside, it will be lifted.
So the Minister of Labour and Employment, Honourable Minister Dr. Chris Ngige, has taken a swipe at Professor Jega. Professor Jega was at a TV station yesterday where he was being asked concerning ASU. As an advisor to ASU and member of the board, he was asked about his involvement and what he has done. And he said specifically that the minister has turned this ASU matter into a personal quarrel. So the Honourable Minister, Dr. Ngige, now responded and said he was quite disappointed that he cautioned Jega that trade unionism must exist for good of the unions, their members, just as it must also be the vanguard of public good. It must protect the nation and the people, not just to shelter, not just to shelter the members. Specifically, he said that it's supposed to be for the good of the nation. So he should have advised ASU on not making this, turning this into what it has become. That he should have, from his experience, from his wealth of experience, he should have been able to appropriately advise ASU to be able to come to the table and find a middle ground to resolve this and not continue to leave it as it is, as the quality is right now.
So, quick story. Rivers State has withdrawn their criminal charges against the former president and former minister for transportation. This story, apparently, they had been accused, the former governor, of selling government assets and diverting the proceeds from running into billions, had been diverted into private accounts. But when the case had gone to court, somebody was contesting the legality. The Attorney General for the state, and Commissioner for Justice had said that, okay, we're not going to prosecute this case further. Now the lawyer for APC and Amechi and Cole contended that the case be struck out completely, which was done. So now the case is
moving on to Punch.
Gone.
Aggrieved governors report article to BOT, least peace conditions. Ogun tanker chased by miscreants explodes. 3 killed, 12 vehicles burnt. Ogun monarch allegedly blinds trader for dancing with Queen. Excitement as Tinubu returns from UK, prepares for campaigns. CBN disburses over 2 trillion naira to 426 industries. Kogi claims Obajano plant. Obajano plant ownership, Dangote MAN kick. 82-year-old French writer wins Nobel Prize in Literature. And FG reviews rail security. Buhari meets freed hostages. Okay.
Human interest story, quickly. So there's this tanker. This happened at the toll gate at the end of Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, Ogun, who was, driving with about 35,000 liters of premium spirit. He was trying to avoid miscreants who usually collect money from them at the toll area. He saw them and he fired up on high speed. And as he was trying to, go through the slope, the tanker upturned and everything spilled. But fire did not start out immediately. There was another bus driver who was driving behind, who mistakenly parked very close to where the premium spirit was, flowing on the street and into the gutter. And then the exhaust started, taking fire, and the spark just took out about 10 other vehicles around that area. The bus driver died immediately. The tanker driver died immediately. It was a tanker boy who was able to escape. They said there were 2 other tricycle riders who were sleeping in their tricycle. This happened in the middle of the night, I think about 1 a.m. Sleeping in their tricycle. They caught fire. Most of them died. One was taken to the hospital. At the end of the day, about 10 vehicles were just burnt, and people could hardly be recognized.
Really sad. Another story?
So I have the monarch that blinded a trader. So this caterer, Wasiu Oduwole, makes food at events, was invited to a hotel in Ikene, Shagam local government, and at that event, the traditional ruler himself, Nureni Oduwaye, I don't have his kingdom from the story, but then he attended that event in company of his queen, who he claimed that the trader or the caterer was dancing with. And according to the trader whose account is in the entire story, he says he didn't dance with the queen. He had gone to explain why his pepper soup, which he made at that event, wasn't as spicy as it should. So the money given was a little less. He had to manage ingredients. And so when he had customers complaining, he had to go and explain to the person who contracted him, who was at that time standing with the queen. And after that, he left, only for him to be called by the person who contracted him to go and apologize to the king, who was angrily walking to his car, that he said he saw him dancing with his queen. So he went there, and as he was going down to prostrate to apologize, the king butted him in the eye. He started crying for help. They rushed him to the hospital. He never approached him. He didn't call him. He didn't follow up. He was treated, but that eye is condemned now. He said he can hardly see from that eye. And the way the king has so comported himself, King of Bali, I don't know, because the kingdom wasn't mentioned here, was totally insensitive. He never, followed through. And so they're asking for justice. They reported the matter to the police. The police confirmed that they've investigated the matter. The mother of the caterer says the police are trying to cover up, but they're asking that the king be charged. They're saying no, because he's king, they have to settle it out of court. That's what the police have said. So they've come to the police
somebody's eye
to assist them.
How do you settle
that?
This is really, really sad story.
Whoa.
Let's call
We
a
should do a
break.
civil
When we come
matter.
back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC Communications story.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling.
Okay, we're still reviewing Punch. Top political story there?
Yes, I want to take the story of the CBN. So the CBN has disbursed total of 2 trillion naira to about 426 industries. They have this they call it the real sector facility. It's a program that has given 66 billion to 12 additional projects in manufacturing and agriculture. There's also a program that the CBN, part of the money went through the CBN, 65 naira for every dollar repatriated in official window, sold at the EI window to authorized dealers. They also had a 35 naira for every $1 brought in for export-based transaction. All of these are policies to sort of increase the flow of forex into Nigeria, as obviously we know that we've been hit hard by foreign exchange crunch. Part of the policies they've also pushed for is called Product Add Value Export, PAVE. And they said this PAVE system is going to make Nigerians only consume what we are producing and then will be exporting the excess, given that this is similar to what they did in South Asia, which improved South Korea, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Singapore. We don't have a shortage of good ideas. We just need to implement successfully till the end, not to implement
follow through.
This is really, really a good initiative that they are.
So last week, earlier in the week, I had taken a story concerning the BOT, the PDP issue that was happening. And remember, there was a meeting that Adolphus Wabara, that's the head of the BOT, the PDP, had gone to Rivers State to meet with Governor Wiki, and then they didn't disclose what transpired. But what we have right now, based on today's report, is that they've all agreed to help to try to push for IU to step down. And they're saying, because according to the report, Governor Wiki was able to clearly state, we spent about 4 to 5 hours, stating how Atiku disappointed him, that he wasn't trying to become vice president, that he actually had somebody he wanted to select, that when Atiku finally picked Okowa, he was supposed to come back to the governors to discuss with them first, but he just went on his own. And he listed out quite a number of other things that Atiku did, and they were able to understand where he's coming from, and are now, according to the report, are now trying to see if there are indications that they will try to push for IU to step down indeed, so that they can get the party back together. Moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Defense Headquarters reveals how train attack victims regained freedom. Ohaneze to mobilize Igbo for 2023 census. Your votes will count, INEC assures electorate. 2023 budget, Senate axes NPA, Customs, NIMASA, and 7 others. Guards Brigade arrests 65 suspects over alleged plan to disrupt Independence anniversary. Nigerians going through hell over economic hardship, says Khan. Bajano, Kogi moves to recover cement company from Dangote. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The major headline. So the Defense Headquarters disclosed how the remaining 23 hostages of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack was released. They said the victims who were abducted March 28 were rescued through a non-kinetic operation by the Nigerian Armed Forces in conjunction with the security agencies in the country. They said that on Wednesday. So why are you people laughing?
Non-kinetic.
Non-kinetic, yes, now. So the Director of Defense Media Operation, DMO, Major General Musa Damadami, was the one who said this, and he refused to give details of what had happened. He said the question should not be what did they do to rescue these, people. But the most important thing is the fact that the people were held for about 6 months and they were able to be rescued. That's what we should be concerned about. And giving details will, further traumatize these people who have already gone through a form and, several trials and trauma. So he said they went ahead, they were able to conduct several ambushes, clearance operations, fighting patrols, cordon and search, as well as kinetic again and non-kinetic operations. And that yielded much success. There were other things that they achieved. He said 2 abducted Chibok schoolgirls, Yana Pogo and Rejoice Senki, with their children, along 12 other abducted victims were rescued at Bula Davo village in Bama local government area. And said another 418 suspected repentant terrorists who were tired, they claimed that they were tired of the Boko Haram ideology, surrendered at different locations to the government. And they're still going ahead to continue with some of these successes.
Kinetic
and non-kinetic.
Let me quickly follow up with another report from the Defense Headquarters. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Damadami, also reported how they arrested 65 suspects, attempting to attack the federal capital during the October 1st celebrations. They said they combed the Guards Brigade combed the Karachi Hill and surrounding villages of the Abuja Municipal Area Council and found these 65 hoodlums dressed in black attires, carrying weapons. They also arrested some drug peddlers. They also arrested several other criminals and illegal miners around that period of time.
That's good.
Good one.
Really good. I'm really happy that we finally, at least you can put to rest the Abuja train challenge. I want to take the story of NPA, the government, the Senate access NPA custom, the matter 7 orders from 2023 budget. I was trying to understand it. So apparently there's a new financial model that the Ministry of Finance wants to test out. And so they have removed a few government-owned enterprises from the 2023 budget. Total government-owned enterprises that we have is 63, and 10 out of them have now been removed from this budget. They said they'll be placed on cost of collection to serve as a test for other GUs. Maybe they will not have to internally fund their expenditure or fund their overhead. That wasn't made clear. But NCC, NPA, CAC, NAMASA, NUPRC, FIRS, Customs, JAM, NAFDAC, all of these government-owned enterprises will no longer be in the 2023 national budget. And we're waiting to see how that test will work out.
Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Twists and turns in Wike's rivers. FG ASU consultation for out-of-court settlement fails. Zamfara government agrees to pay 30,000 minimum wage. Youth protests in Ibadan over EFCC arrests. Nigeria has received over 2,000 military fighting equipment in 7 years, says Buhari. Why I want to be laughing at 84, says Archbishop Ladigbolu. 14 days after leaving for UK, Tinubu returns to Nigeria. 11 banks shortlisted to disburse $350 million cabotage funds. And Obajano Kogi presents report, moves to recover cement company from Dangote. Okay, which story are we taking? I was going to start with our president said his administration has procured over 2,000 fighting equipment since he came on board 7 years ago. He said that they also purchased 550 naval platforms, out of which 319 has been delivered, and they have an aggressive fleet of the Navy. He also said that they have increased the number of Nigerian Air Force platforms by more than 38%. And so he was pretty much speaking at the ceremony of the Nigerian Defense Academy 69 regular course in Kaduna State on Thursday. He was just giving a countdown of that has been done. He stressed that their bid to fulfill their promise to neutralize Boko Haram terrorism in the northeast, which has spread to other neighboring countries, will be definitely enforced. And they have asked the army to reinforce what they did in northeast across the country.
Yeah, so follow-up of the story I took yesterday about a Dangote refinery in Kogi State. The Kogi State government said...
Dangote cement.
Cement. Kogi State, I'm in the future. In Kogi State. So the government is saying that it will enter into negotiations once Dangote Group is ready to admit that Obajana cement plant does not belong to it. So the governor, Yahaya Bello, said this while he was presenting the state's claim to the ownership of the plant. Now, the documents are from the report of the Specialized Technical Committee on the Evaluation of the Legality of the Alleged Acquisition of Obajana Cement Company, PLC. Bottom line of the story is that the Obajana, that's the Dangote Industries Limited, is claimed to be invalid, null and void because it did not go through the appropriate authorities to get the papers for that place. So the government is saying that this is a government-owned property. You did not pay any form of interest to the government. You did not buy it off the government. It belongs to the government. And so they are going to be presenting, the House of Assembly needs to sign off for Dangote to be able to manage that refinery. And
okay,
the government
we have to run. So we can't take any more stories, but let me just take the headline in Vanguard. Insecurity evolved, assumed other dimensions, says Buhari. Domestic violence, DSP allegedly brutalizes wife in Ibadan. Eid al-Maulud, FG declares Monday public holiday. Yippee! Travelers grown as more foreign airlines introduce restrictions. It doesn't affect us because work is
we work
every day.
Honestly, the domestic violence story is pathetic, but I hope the police they know the story.
All right, that is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. Thanks for staying with us. So we saw a story, we took a story very recently about the fact that youngsters were protesting against the EFCC. They were demanding the scrapping of EFCC. According to them, their grouse is that EFCC should focus on arresting politicians or the people who have stolen, looted Nigeria, not they who are engaged in internet fraud known as Yahoo. And we are taking the story that their girlfriends were the one that started this protest when about 92 of them were arrested back in Delta State. We thought it was funny. But then, interestingly, the protest increased where young men came out the following day or 2 days after, had their own protest, and then we're told that even in Osun, another set of youngsters came out, young people, Nigerian youth came out to protest the same thing, asking for the scrapping of EFCC. What are your thoughts on this? We understand we are very clear on the issues young people had with SARS that led to the need for the protest we had 2 years ago. But where people are saying that EFCC is encroaching on their space because of their need to continue this internet crime, that's a cause for concern. What are your thoughts on the thinking, the analysis they give? What are your thoughts on even the way in which EFCC is approaching this matter? Especially we got news that the boss says they're going to continue with the arrest. What are your thoughts on this? Let's start this conversation. Call us on 08127053687, and you can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Yourviewtvc so we can read your tweets. You see, let me start with you because I mean, I don't want us to just automatically say, "Oh, they are wrong." You know, sometimes when people talk, it's always listen to take out through try to get exactly what their issues are. If their issue was the fact that the way and manner in which they have been apprehended, the way and manner in which they have been approached, we can understand. But what I'm hearing is like, don't come and disturb us. Go and arrest somebody else. What are your thoughts? Does it make sense to you?
So there is no excuse for crime for whatever reason. However, he that goes to equity, he that goes to, how did they talk now? You be lawyer, will come with clean hands. Over the years, the EFCC has been, set to be partial in the way they do their things. They say that the EFCC will leave the people who are looting our treasury, our resources, money given to them to develop the community, and then go after young boys who are trying to just help their parents, help themselves, have a better life. And it also goes to show that people are watching. You cannot set a rule and do something else and expect people to go by that rule. If you need to set a rule, you must be ready to follow the rule so that you lead by example. Now, if you had been leading by example, nobody will have the guts to say, after all, you are not arresting politicians that are stealing money. Because you know that crime is crime. And anybody, irrespective of who you are, where you are, if you are caught, you'll be arrested. We hear cases of pardon, people who have stolen money being pardoned. And these young men are watching, and they're looking, and they're saying to themselves, why is it me that they will come for? Am I taking government money? Am I defrauding government? No. I'm looking for Oyibo people to defraud. It doesn't concern government. They should follow the people who are taking the resources meant to be used for us. If these resources were deployed to be used for us, we will not have any reason to go stealing. That's the mindset that I see in this. That does not excuse the crime that is being committed. I had to just put it out there. I stand strongly against that crime. That's one. Secondly, the manner, too, that the EFCC used to arrest these people. When it's the big men, they will invite them to the office. They will have conversations. They will go back and forth, before finally they now convict, which at the end of the year, after many years, one president will now come and give one pardon, something like that. But with these young men, we've seen cases where people have been clamoring. They were in hotels, and innocent citizens in hotels, and EFCC just barges in. Barges into the hotel, people are naked, and because they heard there's one Yahoo, or there are some Yahoo people in this place. The manner, so the approach for the two parties are a bit different. And government needs to begin to pay attention to what the people are saying.
I get that, because, I mean, we all sit down here, we watch Hollywood movies, and we see them barging into criminal cells, trying to break down doors, enter hotels, because they have that probable cause. There's a reason. There's a reason they have an intel, and they say, they are constitutionally allowed to break into anywhere they feel that there's a crime. But I hear you. What are your thoughts in this protest? Let me get your initial thoughts before we go deeper. What are your initial thoughts in this protest? Or Nima, go ahead, Nima.
Oh, okay. Well, I agree with BC completely. I think that the EFCC's methods have been compromised, sort of. So because they're selective in the kind of investigations that they carry out now. I have a petition 2 years old with the EFCC, and they keep saying tomorrow they will arrest. So I know that, they are compromised and they're selective in their methods. But this youth, these people who are saying, just get off our backs, are admitting that they're criminal inclined, that they are doing crime. They're saying, but our own crime is hunger crime. We are doing it because we don't know better. But the people that are stealing from us, that's who the people you should go after. I think the EFCC should continue to raid spots like that, or find better methods that are, more acceptable. I don't want to control how it is done. I think whatever is conforms to the fundamental human rights is okay. But then they should make sure that this kind of crime that puts the entire national image of the country to question should be stopped. We are not criminals. Our wives and family members don't support crime. This nonsense that they are doing, parading and protesting everywhere, should be stopped. This is totally different from the methods of SARS. There were grievous and strong abuses. SARS were picking up on innocent people. But if the EFCC was raiding a person, and the person can establish, or they can establish their innocence in any court, why should the raid stop? Why should we close a department that was created to meet an issue that was on ground? At the time, 419 was the name everybody knew. And Nigerians were seen as fraudsters everywhere in the world. We created it as a solution to stem that. And then now, because everybody is popularizing such activity, we should close that department. No, I don't agree.
When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So it's important for us to know the purpose of EFCC. And because they have a very, very, like a twin agency, I also checked for ICPC. So the ICPC targets corruption in public sector, especially bribery, gratification, graft, and abuse or misuse of office. The EFCC investigates people in all sectors who appear to be living above their means and is empowered to investigate and prosecute money laundering and other financial crime. So if we are talking about corrupt politicians or corrupt leaders or misuse or abuse of funds, who we should be holding accountable for that more than any other agency is the ICPC. That is the core of their own assignment. The EFCC covers all financial crimes. And while I was checking, I noticed that 80% of EFCC convictions actually are cybercrime related. You need to take the low-hanging fruit. You need to motivate yourself with something. I see the EFCC also, it helps with our international relations. We don't understand, the young people don't understand the impact of the small crime they think they're committing inside those rooms on the way everybody sees Nigeria. The entire world looks at Nigeria like the den of where, anything that, once you send a mail that my company is in Nigeria, every investor looks at you and wonders if you are going to scam them, if you are legitimate. And that's not because of anything I did. It's because a group of young people have become such amazing experts at cooking up stories, creating fictitious company, and defrauding people. We need foreign direct investments. But how would these foreign direct investors know who is real? Because they get emails from all sorts of people. The cyber crime is not a crime against the Western or foreigners by an individual Nigerian. Your crime is against every Nigerian.
Let me say something.
And when we begin to see it that way, you will know that your protest is invalid. And other Nigerians should start protesting. Legitimate entrepreneurs should start protesting against EFCC, against cyber crime, cyber criminals for what they are doing and its impact on their business.
I like the fact that you went back to define, to tell us exactly what EFCC was created for. Because a lot of these youngsters we see, you wake up in the morning, we see you wearing Gucci shoes, you're driving cars, and you're thinking, where did this money come from? Even when you steal this money, you don't even go and invest the money. You
buy big chains.
You buy big chains. So EFCC's job is to see that and say, I need to investigate where all this. How can you afford hotels back to back? And which job are you doing?
Exactly.
So those are legitimate questions for the EFCC to ask,
which is understandable. But before I respond to this, they are calling me out on YouTube already. I did not say crime was good. I responded to Morayo's question of trying to understand the mindset of these people. That is what I responded to. We had something like this, was it day before yesterday or yesterday, and I still maintain my stand. crime is crime. Anybody who is responsible for crime, anybody who has been caught for crime, whether you're a politician, whether you're a low-hanging fruit, should be arrested and dealt with. That's my stand. I only responded to Morai's question in trying to get into their heads to understand the mindset. And what the government needs to do even more to show that they are neutral, that they are objective, that they are not, paying the poor and suffering the poor and allowing the rich to go scot-free because those people have people they can call. That was my point. But, you talked about the job of EFCC. EFCC has a good job of investigating lifestyle, investigating people that they are not sure. People should come and say exactly how you are earning everything that you're spending. That is good. But their modalities, they need to ensure that they still respect human rights. Is it not until you are convicted of crime that you are called guilty? Yes. So the manner in which they, carry out their operation is you have been convicted already before they even try you. We see people being profiled on the streets for wearing a long chain, having dreadlocks and all that, and you have been convicted already by the way you look. So young boys these days are at risk. If you are a musician, you are you're a social media content provider, whatever you are, and you dress a certain way, you're already in their profile for being a criminal. So they need to observe how it's being done in respect to human rights. That's what we're saying.
Okay, let me go
and do it all round. So the same measures you are using, the same power you are using to handle the Yahoo boys, you should use the same for high-profile individuals in the society.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review, and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it. Thanks for staying with us. Let me take Benjamin's call. Good morning, Benjamin. Are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I want to make this contribution. You see, crime is crime. No matter who commits the crime, the person ought to face the full wrath of the law.
That's what
but in a situation whereby political office holders commit crime in this country, they are convicted. A few weeks or a few months in jail, they are granted state pardon by virtue of their connections with persons in government. Then, what message are you sending across?
Yeah.
People will continue to commit crime. But once the body language of the state is off, then persons will desist from it. That's my submission.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. It goes back to the fact that sometimes our government forgets that they must earn the respect of the people.
Bam.
When you earn it by ensuring that what you do for one person is exactly what you do for the next person, people know that this law, regardless of who it is, it will still come to me. So that's the point you're trying to make. Let me take this comment from EFCC, because there was a public statement where they said the EFCC wishes to assure the public of its unanswering commitment to its mandate and vision. To Nigeria, to free Nigeria of economic and financial crimes. It also needs to reiterate that all operational activities, which I think is important, all operational activities of the Commission are always in tandem with global best practice. Issues of arrest, detention, arraignment, and prosecution of suspects are done in line with the standard operating procedure of the Commission. So they're saying that their approach in all these situations is in line with standard, universally best practices. So they're saying that their way is accepted, and they shouldn't be condemned for that way. So I'm going back to what you're saying, that why would they be raiding these various cells that they find? Also,
let's not forget that when they go, they usually raise the defense that they come with a petition, a search warrant, or an arrest warrant if they actually do have one. So it makes that sense that you should be careful about where you are at a time. Most times they are raiding hotels, they are raiding, places of, of suspicion. And because this method is now popular, I think it is wise for every Nigerian to be careful where they are. I once attended my anniversary dinner at a suggested place in Festac, and I told my husband, the moment I entered that place, I cannot be found in this kind of place.
You
saw the patronage. I just did not think it was right.
Let me take this call from Aya from the UK, and I'll come to you, okay? Good morning, Aya. Are you there?
Good morning, Mariah.
You're live.
Good morning,
go ahead,
everybody.
please.
How are you guys doing? Yeah.
Very well.
I think my reflection is on two sides. Number one, I disagree with this protest. It needs to be stopped. We need to fight crime.
Yeah.
There's a program that happens here in England. It's called Crime Stoppers on BBC. They run it every week. And at least twice a month, they trace, is an awareness on internet fraud. They trace a lot of internet fraud in the United Kingdom back to Ghana and Nigeria. I mean, it's an embarrassment. It needs to stop. However, I support you, Mariah, in the fact that let's not just, dish the whole thing. Let's reflect. Personally, I won't raise anything against the EFCC. I will raise a lot against our judiciary, because they've taken a lot of cases to court. But Mariah, let's talk about Dasuki Gate. Where is it at the moment? Where is it? What's the update? What's going on? So I think let's reflect more on our judiciary. And I think the young man who leads EFCC right now is trying, Brigadier Marua as well, trying. But I think let's reflect more on our judiciary.
Thank you very
much. So much, guys. God bless you.
There was this. I was researching something about, there's a structure called organizational injustice, and when you have an organization and there is a feeling of people feel like whatever I do will not count. People will do whatever they feel like doing because I'm not going to get justice if I speak up. If I do legitimate things, it does not reward me. So I see illegitimacy getting rewarded. Impunity will thrive. As a country, we have permitted injustice at several levels. Every caller calling in, the contributions coming here, the comments on social media, the reason we can point fingers is because there is somewhere to point the finger. There are places where injustice is blatant in our faces. A government says they are fighting corruption and the government lets go of a convicted criminal. That is obvious country-wise injustice that will make every citizen of the country look at the leader and like, I don't trust you. You are not fair. You are not. There's no equity in the way you are behaving. You're not a person of your word. And it puts a huge burden on other smaller organizations in the country. So EFCC, with the clean hands that they have, with the effective leadership, will fall under such insult or protest because there is a country at large that has committed a sense of injustice that has made people feel like, I don't trust any system under you. Nigerians need to start trusting the system, and it can only happen when leadership takes ownership of, I will not let anybody feel they can be cheated and get away scot-free.
Talking about trust, for example, so let me take this call first. Sunday's been holding. Good morning, Sunday, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live, go ahead, please.
Okay. My contribution, what I want to say is, you see, the problem we have is leadership problem. Leadership problem. Our government is not proactive, they are reactive. The problem our government is having is they are not sincere and faithful. Peter B once said that if the principal is not taken, it will be taken. You know, because the point I'm making is the protest is wrong, yes, but this protest is triggered by what the system caused, because our politicians are so corrupt and they do things and get away with it. That is what gives birth to what is happening, this protest that is happening. So what I'm saying is, please, you ladies have influence. Use your influence to tell your followers the right person to lead this country. Because if the head is good, the down will also be good.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. A good country. Now let's use the leadership of Brigadier General Buba Marwa. He has, and I think YK said it yesterday also, that he has gone for the top. You don't see him arresting all those little boys that are trying to sell weed here. He has gone to the barons, the ones importing. Now, we the people, have seen that over the last at least 1 year or so, that these big drug dealers coming into the country have been arrested. So tomorrow, if NDLA goes into one corner and brings out some boys smoking weed, nobody will say, why are you packing these boys? No. Because they have seen the work they've done, the millions, they've seen that you've earned their trust over time, that your big boys that you've arrested are being persecuted and the cocaine has been burnt. In this situation, Nigerians are seeing that those who have influence, who have been arrested, for some reason, they are either getting pardoned, for whatever reason, the case is stalling in the courts, and they have that professional treatment, and then you go en masse to arrest the boys. Of course, they'll come out and they'll start protesting. So that's what we're trying to get government to understand, that it must be, what you're doing on the left must be exactly what you're doing on the right. So that people can earn the rest of the
So you cannot also pick up these boys and don't charge them to court. We don't see a lot of them being charged to court. We see them picked up in droves, and before you know, these same boys are released. They are picked up in droves again. Before you realize it, these same boys are released. You see one boy who has gone to EFCC how many times? The boy is back. The boy is still doing the business. Nobody has charged to court. So what happens? When you pick up, there's probably something that drops and everybody's released and we go back to normal. So EFCC needs to clean up its house and ensure that all the measures are put in place to handle everybody equally. Nigerians will only trust when they see that you are treating everybody equally. That's the problem we've had all through the politics in the country. It seems like some people have that preferential treatment. Some people are being pampered. Some people are handled with kids' gloves. EFCC needs to ensure that that is not the eye Nigerians used to look at EFCC. Whether you are caught or big, small, it's handled. However, we also need to work on the mindset of these young people. I've been defrauded online. A few months ago, I was crying because I bought something online. Somebody set up an account online, put pictures, posting pictures back to back. I paid for goods, and till today, I did not see it. And I'm not taking up this fight because a guy said, just leave it. That's why I'm not taking up the fight. I would have done that fight. Now, some people will call me. They want to buy something. They want to see my face to be sure they're speaking to Obiajulu before they pay. Because of the way we have painted ourselves. Everybody online now is perceived as fraud. Tomorrow, it will affect their children, their great-grandchildren, and every other person in their family who is doing legitimate work. We need to start educating them if they will listen.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk to the Director of Public Affairs, EFCC, Osita Nwaje, in a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's Your View. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our
Thanks for staying with us. Joining the conversation is the Director of Public Affairs, EFCC. That's Mr. Osita Nwaja. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. So, before you came on board, we're talking about the fact that the youth, many young people are protesting. Initially I said it was Oshun, but it's actually Ibadan. That they were protesting and in Delta State against the EFCC, saying that you should leave them alone. Many of us at this table agree that crime is crime, that no, we don't accept or appreciate crime at any level. However, many have alluded to the fact that EFCC seem to focus on these young people and not those at the top. So we've hardly seen high-level convictions. We've seen some arrests or convictions, and even those that are convicted eventually get state pardons or presidential pardons. So how do you respond to this?
Okay. I think there are 3 issues that you have mentioned there. The protest that's happening now, the issue of this protest in relation to the work that EFCC is doing, and that work in relation, now at the micro level, looked at the so-called focus of the EFCC on this class of alleged criminals, and then the other one, the political outcome by way of state pardon. So those are 3 issues that you have mentioned. So I will just address them one after the other. The very wrong-headed protests that are happening now, a reaction to some of the enforcement activities of the EFCC in these 2 places that you mentioned. Those are isolated incidents. This kind of protest against the legitimate work of the EFCC. So if you must know, as that last Friday we have over 2,600 convictions, 2,600 this year alone. A great number of that is sourced from this category of crimes that you're looking at today. So there is a huge propensity of some very misdirected youths to channel talent and all that into criminality, which we are addressing. Now that is just one leg of the enforcement activities of the EFCC. The other one that you mentioned, the so-called high-profile alleged criminals, we are also dealing with all of that. But these are crimes that run on parallel lines. For instance, we still have matters of 2007 from, when the first set of governors left office that are still running in our courts today. Recently, we managed to secure the conviction of the former governor of Abia State, which went all the way to the Supreme Court. The man is a 7th senator now. That matter is from 2007. 2007. Now, if you are familiar with the legal system that we have, you would appreciate how we're able to deal with the matter of advance report 019, as we know it, more quickly than matters of the so-called high profile, so high profile crimes. So that is outside of the jurisdiction of EFCC. It's a question of the legislation that we have, the question of the judicial system that we operate. Okay? So we are focused on all of this. Every shape of criminality that falls within the ambit of the EFCC, we deal with. So there is no selection. There is not if there's a preference to go after a certain category of criminals as against the other one. And then the third aspect of your question, granting of pardon, that is outside of the work of the EFCC. We do our work, take to court, present our facts, our evidence before the court, and the court takes a decision. Okay? And as far as that has gone, we have been mostly successful. But we have this system that makes it possible for somebody to go to court. I mean, the person that the defendant goes to court and looks at the judge and says, I don't like the case of the judge, and raise preliminary objection at that point. And the substantive issue is left, to lie fallow for some time, while that objection is addressed. And that objection can be addressed up to Supreme Court. In fact, we have matters, this so-called high-profile matters, that went up to Supreme Court 2 times. Went up to Supreme Court, the EFCC win all the way to Supreme Court. And then we are sent back to the court of first instance to go and start again.
Judiciary.
To continue, to start or rather continue the matter. And by the time we come back down to the first court, the judge may have been transferred. The judge may have been elevated. The judge may have died. Witnesses may have disappeared. You understand? So these are all issues that we confront on a daily basis, right? And that is where we find ourselves. And we are trying to handle all of these matters from our own perspective, from our own end. It is not everything, the whole chain of the justice system that we have total control of.
Let me go on a break. I think you said some really important things that we can discuss. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, The best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communication story.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So,
come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the... Thanks for staying with us. So before we go back to our guest, he said something which was really crucial, that they do a lot of work. It gets to the courts, and the courts, the judge, obviously the issue we are having right now is judiciary. Because then they have to, something happens and they have to now start over the investigations again. And it goes back to what I was saying when when this whole thing of the NDLEA stuff went viral. And I said, listen, these are Nigerians working. Those boys that went to arrest these barons, these are regular Nigerians who are decided to work. The average Nigerian usually, they don't really work. These ones are doing their job. They make arrests, they burn, and you not criticize them. That why, who are they? EFCC too will go and do. Somebody's actually working. He's a Nigerian working like you and I, doing the job of arresting, investigating, and then they do all that work, gets to the judiciary, and some or somewhere says, that's my person, and they stall the proceedings to the point for years. Everybody's also, as a young EFCC official, you do so much work and you feel, what's the point? I mean, could get there, it will not happen.
The problem is not just the judiciary. The problem is the system of, politics. So our constitution enables the AG to say, not prosecute, so stop prosecuting a case. And the AG, the
constitution from above.
No, it is constitutionally provided, and that power is something that he should be checked upon, but it's given exclusively to the AG. So in the case of this IPOP case that we have, if the Attorney General of the Federation decides that for political reason he wants peace, he just has to say stop prosecution. He has the power of nulli prosecute, and that ends it. It's constitutionally provided. Now, constitution of giver. So if he says he ends it. But the question now becomes moral judgment on us to be asking him, why? Is it because he's your friend? Is it because of this? Does he have 2 heads and all of those things? The Constitution does not, just as the Constitution does not clearly define what was gross misconduct on the part of any elected officer.
Yep.
That's why it not give limits to how the powers of the AG would be exercised. And the power of pardon. The Constitution did not tell us who to pardon.
It's very express that the president can pardon whomever.
Yes.
There's a committee that will recommend who to pardon. All the president does is sign it. If the committee have 2 paddy somewhere telling them, my person did it. Of course,
the president can still choose not to
sign.
So
the system and the people is the issue here, not just the judiciary.
So let's not move away from the focus of our conversation.
But then I wanted to ask him, because when the judiciary says to him, this case, because he says a case gets all the way to Supreme Court and they're sent back to the court of first instance to start the matter afresh. And by that time, witnesses and everything had disappeared. What about doing a clear investigation, having a clear substantive case, airtight case before you go to the judiciary, so that you don't have appeals that are taking.
But is it not the lawyers that will find a loophole
everywhere?
Technically, no, it's lawyers now. There's always it's not lawyer. You don't want SAN if against another SAN. They'll find something.
Now they leave loophole. Not be the way open mouth ladies are denta. Now they leave loophole.
That was always from funds to have a watertight case. That's another issue. Funds for what to
investigate. Then suddenly,
the first thing I learned was how to scatter a charge sheet. I would prepare you a charge sheet that when it gets to court, the case will be struck out.
No matter how watertight it is.
No matter what. So they know what they are doing.
They don't know what they are doing. A few Nigerians in the system are contributing to the issues within the system. It is we, the people, in the system. Because you speak to the leaders in the field of this organization and you'll be wondering, you mean you are in the police? You mean that you're in the EFCC? And they talk about all the trainings and all the good things they are doing. And you see some bad eggs amongst them. One of the things that we must learn to do as people, as organizational leaders, is that you must fire fast. You must fire the person that can pollute your system. Because if you keep that person, what is wrong will become your culture.
Yes.
And that's what we're having in the country now.
Yes.
So people are now protesting with their faces. Did you notice the women were showing their faces? The men were wearing nose masks. Women. No, my fellow.
No, but the guys too are doing the same thing. So it's
why would you? What are you doing?
No, they were ashamed enough to wear face masks.
Yes, a lot of the men.
Women chest batting with their hats. Carry the chest.
Women and these are our young people. Like what went into what was the thought process? That's the thing. Culture, negativity, the wrong things have become so used to you that it's become your norm.
Just one more question, because he didn't answer on the methods of raids and what justifies it.
Unfortunately, we haven't get him back. Let me take this call. I think it's Lekon. Good morning, Lekon. Are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Great contribution this morning. I really love everything I've been hearing. But I want to say that I think it's good that they are even protesting. I think it's good that it's not gun violence. So I think the EFCC are biased. At least I've been to many places in Silata and you could do, especially I was even around by then. I don't even do this business by themselves. I think they don't follow right procedure. They don't walk in anywhere. They don't start picking people. And even I have to even guide them sometimes. I don't even do this business. So if they are protesting, I think it's good. At least these guys have access to funds. Let's not kill ourselves. And if they start trying to get weapons and all that, I think that would be very dangerous. Thank you. Great opinion this morning.
All right, so I disagree with you. No, that protest is wrong. And I'm trying to understand the mindset of the women and the men that joined that protest. What are you teaching your children? What are you teaching the generation? We always say the young are the next leaders. What are you teaching the next leaders? What are you telling them that when they get to a position where there's money, it's okay to steal and just move on? We are setting the bad example, bad precedent, and it's rubbing off on our names. You travel as a Nigerian with your green passport and you are not respected. You are not respected. You are looked at 2 times. There are different lanes for people. They will quiz you. They will check you double than any other person with a different passport. we need to start thinking collectively. That's what the problem is. So Mariah, please hold on. The problem we have in the country is because we have been so impoverished, everybody is selfishly thinking of the next meal, their next stomach. We're not looking at the future. We're not looking at the precedent. We're not looking at things that will come before us. We're not even thinking about the generation we are going to leave behind. Those parents need to get their heads checked. What sort of Nigeria are you going to see in the next 10, 20 years if you can stand boldly and say that crime should not stop because they are not attacking other people? That's unfair.
Okay, so I like that, because the truth is that, you know, I get this complaint all the time. Oh, the police is corrupt, EFCC is this, who are they? You don't have a war. You know, people continuously, constantly criticize the government. Yes, the government should be criticized, and critically so. However, do we want a banana republic? Do we want a failed state? Are we not in this country? Because let's take that young lady, for example, who was protesting. So imagine if your father or somebody you know was swindled. Maybe he's everything he has worked for in his entire life was swindled by one of your friends who went to manipulate the system and took his entire life savings. Now he has nothing to feed. He can't pay for his health care. He cannot take care of himself. Now he dies 10 years or 20 years before he should die. So there are repercussions for every action. We don't think of that. We only think of this moment. My boyfriend is the Yahoo person. He was going to collect money. That's all they're thinking about.
What I will spend. So, like 2 years ago, I applied for UK visa and I stumbled on the rejection letter. And they said money was deposited in my account within 2 weeks of this visa, within a month of the visa application. They don't believe it is my money. That was the message they sent to me, that we don't believe the money that was sent into your account was your money. So we're not going to give you visa. Why would you not believe that the money in my account is my money?
Yeah, lots of
because plenty people I have borrowed money to deposit in their accounts and japa with the visiting visa.
Yeah.
So me that I want to go for a business got rejected with my money that was innocently transferred to my account. I didn't when I paid the money to my account, I didn't even know I was going to be traveling. I didn't know I was going to apply for visa. I would have not put the money in the account. But every other person would now have to overprove themselves over and over. And I felt bad. I was like, what is
because
this?
someone is saying you're traveling. Don't worry, I have somebody in bank. They'll do it for you. They'll move it. They'll move here. And we have the people. And they're watching us now. But they'll be the loudest on Twitter shouting. They are corrupt. Nigeria is corrupt. But you yourself, and you're watching me. You're doing your own.
You're doing your own.
You travel abroad, you go and marry somebody to go and collect paper.
You go with this.
You enter somebody, use somebody else's social security number to go and work. Are you not just like the person that is the CFC? Are we not all the same? So if we want a failed state, let us say it. We want a failed state too. Everybody just do. But some of us have children here. We want to actually raise children in this country. Some of my husband were talking the other day, talking about saving money, investing. We actually decided, you know what? There's nothing better for us, for our children to actually go to school here.
Honestly.
Because you have all your network here.
Yeah, your family support.
Even your first degree, if you can go there for your master, but that first degree, so because that's where you get the real base of your foundation. So we're thinking like, what is that all just carrying and going? The real source is here. So if we want, we have to wrap up. Let me just take Holiness and wrap up on this conversation. Good morning, Holiness. Are you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the protest. Yes, and I think the reason why we young Nigerians are protesting is because that's the only way our voice is going to be heard, especially when we don't have anybody above. Especially when, like you had this state, when you don't know anybody. I think that's why they do protest, or that's why we are protesting.
Holiness, do you agree? Holiness, let me stay with you. Do you agree with the reason for this protest?
I kind of partially agree with them, like a 50%, because that's the only way our voice is going to be heard. But the way they are protesting, I really don't accept it that way. But in a calm and gentle way.
That's fine. I get that. I understand the calm, the way is fine. The content, what are they saying? Do you agree with the principle, the ideology behind this protest?
No, I honestly don't agree with them that way. They are not doing it the right way, even though they have the right mindset to do it, but they are not following it the right way now.
That's our problem.
All right. That's the Nigerian problem right there.
Yeah.
So they don't even get it. They can't even. There's no coherence in the thinking from start to finish. The person that is shouting on that social media that
does not even understand.
He doesn't even understand. So I'm asking a young person. She's telling me, oh, the manner in which they are doing. The content, what do you agree? She cannot comprehend what is going on.
Is wrong.
Why it is wrong. They don't get it.
Because everybody around them, the richest people around them are doing cybercrime.
There's a huge problem.
We have a huge problem in our.
Similar.
You have to wrap up. Yes, go ahead, Nimbe.
You can disagree with this fact, but the leaders are the ones most of the youths are looking up to. Let the judgment start with the leaders. Arrest and prosecute the leaders, then watch how the change will come systematically. Ogumola Emmanuel says, you can't be weaponizing hardship and expect the ordinary Nigerian who are deprived of dividends of democracy to conform to a corrupt process of biased justices, where some thieves are sacred. Sanitize the top first, and this will trickle down to the bottom.
All right, we have to wrap up on this, but I think in a nutshell, the feedback, the EFCC should take this as feedback. Feedback meaning that you must show Nigerians that you're not only targeting young people. Yes, these young people should be corrected, they should be arrested, but they must see that same the same zeal and passion to also those high-profile crimes that have been committed.
Address the brief to the heads, the person who can call the EFCC to order, the person who can tell the EFCC don't investigate the Accountant General anymore, or stall it, or do a plea bargain, which is the executive. Those people should stop making the EFCC seem like they're pure water agency for small boys. The EFCC can do more. There are big fraudsters everywhere celebrating every day. Let's have our own convictions like they did of the appointee of the governor of Ogun State in the US. Let's have such happen here.
All right, that's all we can take. This hot topic, we'll come back and bring in our celebrity guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's Your View. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it. Thanks for staying with us. He's the founder of Genesis Celestial Church of Christ, one of the largest and fastest celestial churches in the world. Welcome with us, Prophet Israel Oladele Ogundipe, a.k.a. Genesis. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, good to have you again on the show.
Thank you, thank you.
So, aside from checking up on you, seeing how you're doing, one of the things I wanted to discuss with you is the issue of entitlement. You know, we always talk about it in this show where young people always feel entitled that they do this for me. You're my father, or you're my sibling. You are rich and poor. You help me. You're supposed to help me. You're my father in the Lord. You're my sister in the Lord. You're my mother in the Lord. You're supposed to, you know. There's always that feeling that you owe me. And that was some of the feedback we got when you released your last video. Okay. A sense of why does this? Yes, he must have some important points. Why does it come across that he's feeling that somebody owes him? Why should you feel that way? What are your thoughts, Sidi? Is that what came up? Was that the reason?
Or was there more to
the story?
Yeah, entitlement is different from rights. It's just like you have your child now. You've done a whole lot for that child, and you now ask your child to help me pick that cup. Or you've really served someone, you've been with someone, you've been totally connected to the person with the whole of your heart. And peradventure, all of a sudden you now met her or her hand in what you're not supposed to experience. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Since I came out of my wilderness, I was not complaining. No one was looking for me. No one was talking about me. But one thing we have in Africa and among Yoruba people, we like being pretentious. We love pretending as if we like people, and we backstab them.
Wow.
So when you see the impact of the backstabbing and you are able to see what was actually coming for you, you have to react, because you won't have to be quiet for everything, and you don't have to talk about everything.
So I don't want us to focus so much on your video because it's not about that, but just wanted to. I wanted to
because it trended. I saw it. I understand Yoruba very well. I was wondering, why now? Number one, because you have already fought this battle. You're out of it. You needn't be joining issues. At a time when it was unexpected, you decided to just talk about it. Why at that time?
Yeah, because
what was the purpose? What did you think to achieve with it?
Right now, the question you're even asking me about, I don't know who you're talking about. Because
who were you referring to?
I never mentioned anyone. I was trying to teach people how to be loyal and how not to betray people or think of, I must pull this person down stylishly. But to all of us, I didn't mention anyone. And when you get to the court of law, one of the maxims of equity says, even when equity must do equity. There are some things we shouldn't say. Of course, some of you are Yoruba now, and we should remember our Yoruba culture. Do you know that when you over-respect people, they subject you, they subdue you? Of course, if they're not paying you anything here, or you're not getting anything here, you have the right to take your leave. But don't live here and you now start hearing people saying while you were here, you stole television, you stole radio, you stole this, just to validate being good to people. You have the right to react and talk about that.
So you were not referring to any person, any institution at the time?
Only sensible people will have to gain from it. But some people who are not too sensible will pick word to want to nail you.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
So, yeah, still on this matter, you know, when things happen and you realize that people are not who they seem to be, or people are not, they project something else, but at the end of the day, when you're down, that's when you really know those that stand for you. What advice would you give to people that are, you know, growing up to become influential on how they can navigate around either friendships, colleagues, and all that to protect themselves so that things like this will not happen at the end of the day?
Yeah, number one, you have to be yourself. Number two, you have to be purpose-driven. Number three, you have to be value-driven. Number four, you need to know what you stand for, and you need to know where you're going. The problem we have in this country, when they see you with rich people or you mingle with them, they believe they've given you the whole of the money in the whole world. And if you're not careful to speak out, you'll see people that will come out and attack you. And you know the way they kidnap people now. And people will just formulate, you give me a cup, don't tell the world you gave me a jug. But if you are yourself, you're going to be able to stand on your faith and hold on to God, who is the author and finisher of your faith, but will not tell you what will happen in the middle. I've never in my life expect too much from people, but never you stab me. I'm not going to accept it because you cannot replace the blood.
So, you know, there's something that I've heard over and over again, that culture influences our religion. You know, a lot of times we feel like we can isolate religion and be spiritual and ignore our upbringing and the culture of where we've come from. But obviously, you're a very cultural person, and it influences how you practice your spiritual journey in teaching others. If you find yourself in a place where you need to advise someone who's served diligently, you know, really, really served, and the person was disappointed with the response you got from the person they are served, what would you say would be the right line of action the person can use to release peace? You know, we always talk about forgive. The Bible says we should forgive. What would be the right line of action you would say the person should follow if the person served diligently and the person's reward was to be disappointed and not to be rewarded?
Yeah, no one is serving anyone. Whatever you do to people, you're serving yourself. Because leadership has got to do with service. And you shouldn't expect anything from me. That's number one thing. If I'm good to you, I'm good to you not because of what I'm trying to want to get from you. And if you're bad, instead of me to attack you, I walk away. So if I'm now if I now walk away and I now still realize you're trying to want to block my way, then you see the other side that will make you understand that I have known the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And I will let you know you can't stop my destiny. I've walked away.
But sir, the way you're saying this thing, you're saying like, I will show you Jesus is the way, but we will not put Jesus like this. I will now show you. You want to deal with me.
Okay, you all are Muslim, you have Muslim, we have Christian. Can anyone stand in your presence and you see someone slapping your biological mother?
But Jesus said we should turn the left.
Yeah, in English, he said turn the other side. He didn't say we should turn the left. Read your Bible.
Okay, so like
on the other
it's turn the other side in another Bible.
So like,
but this is the question I'm asking.
Please open the Bible.
If you're coming from outside and you are able to meet with some people beating your mother, tearing her apart, and you're just coming from church.
You've left me more confused than I ever was. Today's the last interview when you were here, I really. But today you've left me more confused because so many issues. You're not exactly saying anything, but you're not exactly agreeing to anything on today's interview. So if there's anything I would like you to do, use this opportunity to put clarity.
Okay.
So the confusion you put on social media.
Yes, because a lot of people are wondering. I asked earlier, what was the purpose of that video? I watched that video.
But it was a clip. It wasn't as if we went to somebody it was like a preaching.
He was preaching.
So he was preaching, and it was a fool. So he was preaching. The intention was not to come out like that. He was preaching, and I now use that as an example.
That's why I say
because so that extraction.
A lot of people would have left watching that.
Of course.
And the only reason I watched is because I heard him once on. If prior to your being on this show, I've never seen any of your videos. I saw that video and I watched it because I enjoyed that interview.
Yeah.
So if for any reason, if anybody left the way I was stunned after seeing that video and I'm wondering, and I'm having the opportunity to talk to you now,
Let me add, the reason why we were stunned is because whoever posted it posted somebody's picture.
The full length.
No, I'm just saying, somebody posted it. So that we are now looking at it because he's telling us that he didn't mention anybody's name. But the person that posted it,
he didn't mention
the person
any
that
person category.
The person that
posted, there were references to people and to someone hurting him that deeply. I watched the video.
Okay, let me come from the angle of hurting me that deeply.
Yes.
It's just like, okay, I took someone to be my mother. I took someone to be someone I love so much.
And when you were down, you needed that person to be there
I was in need of God. I didn't. If I was in need of her, I would have been calling pestering. But I wasn't bothered about it. I needed God. Actually, I needed God.
Yeah.
And I had walked away. I gave the gap. And after that, I started hearing some stories, some negative stories, which proves on my phone. You know what it is? If you now hear some voices and some words, are you like...
Did you approach her and say, ma, come bye in the movie?
Who are you still talking about?
We don't want to say his name. We are going... Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on.
You can only...
Read the Bible. Yes, so Matthew 5:38 to 40.
Okay.
I'll start from 39. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also.
Okay. Let's stop on that. Let me go to how you've been, because I know that I heard that you didn't want to cover it. No, when you go to go and do research in the church, attend his service, I'm going to ask you a question. But I heard that you're doing some kind of conference. I'm thinking, what is the objective? It says standout conference 5G, and like 5 or 6 men are invited. I'm thinking, what are you trying to achieve with this kind of conference? Are you trying to educate our men? Are you trying to educate? What exactly is the objective?
Yeah, the leadership, the conference is about leadership. It's about mentorship.
Okay.
Like, I know how to be a great mentor. She's a coach, a life coach. And I'm trying to want to bring people like her, people of like minds, like Dr. Steve Akitayo, who's into real estate, Dr. Nia Desonya. At least come and teach people. I mean, I tell people Christianity is not a religion, it's a way of life. What we're going there to do is beyond church. It's about you developing yourself, you discovering yourself. If you don't have a mentor, you cannot be mentioned. One of the problems we have now is we don't have people mentoring us.
Yeah.
So that's what the conference is all about. It's about.
Where's all men? I only saw men on the pictures. There's no woman that is like a mentor.
Of course, we'll get that because one, we're talking about real estate.
Okay.
One, we're talking about how to start from zero. How to start from nothing. Another one is coming from the angle of leadership. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead anyone.
Interesting.
So that's what the conference is all about. Then we have Dr. Mike Abdul in the house, you know, and we have BJ Sachs, more of worship, words, mentorship, leadership, and fellowship.
Interesting. So tell us about, tell us about how young people, because I know your church has a lot of young people. I mean, when you watch the videos of your church, I'm like, they're dancing, there's energy. Do you think that young people are being transformed, especially with the methodology lots of our pastors are engaging? Yes, you have conferences, you have this. Do you think it's been impactful? Do you really think this is getting through? Because before you came in, we're talking about young people who are protesting that EFCC is arresting their friends who are into Yahoo Yahoo. And we're thinking, all these interventions, we're doing conferences, we're doing training, we're doing youth empowerment. Is it getting through?
Working?
Well, it depends on where it's been applied. But as for us, Genesis Global, it's really working. Because, like, I heard you saying something before I came in. My son came out, graduated from Babcock, and he came out with first class. As at the time, he needed money to travel to Ukraine or America to study. I was not having money then. And I said, we can't be part of church money because I'm not supposed to be part of church money. And we can't use church money for that. Let him feel how Nigeria will be. And to the glory of God, has really been able to develop himself. He's been able to develop software. He's been able to do so many things. He's so creative. And he's even handling my media editing now.
Wow.
So if I'd gotten that money as at that time to send him to Ukraine, what happened that all those student came back without achieving any sorry, will have been a regret. And that's why we have to be led. Number two, we don't have to compare ourselves. We don't have to do it. We don't have to do things because other people are doing it. And that's why I am an Igba man, I'm a Yoruba man. And you can't give me shawarma. And you say because the shawarma is good for you, I must take it. If Gary is good for me, I take my Gary. So that's why we are doing such conference. And that's why we have a lot of youth in our church. Because I've given them opportunity to come closer to me, mentor them, go through how to handle storms. It is not about the trouble you went through that matters. How you've been able to handle it matters.
We've been talking a lot about a Yoruba man, you know, and we saw we're trying really hard to ensure that these elections are not about ethnicity, it's not about race, it's not about religion, it's about competence, who has potential or who has the experience to do it. So when we hear pastors say, I'm a Yoruba man, you know, I would like you to use this opportunity to talk about the elections that are coming, because many people thought that you were very open and vocal about who you're going to vote for based on ethnicity, not so much on competence, on ability. And I'd like you to use the opportunity.
Yeah, because that video was actually edited. Okay, to the glory of God, I'm a Christian. And I was born into Islam. I love Muslims. I love them a whole lot. There was a time, there was one Islamic lecture like that, organized by one of my brothers who happens to be a Muslim. I went there, and some people started castigating me, but I wasn't bothered about it. That video was edited. Something led to that discussion. On a Saturday, there were a lot of youth in the church started arguing. It was almost turning to fight. This is who you're supposed to vote for. And all, like 50%, 40% were saying they should vote for so person. Even my son's friends said they will vote for the person they're talking about, who happens to be Igbo guy. And I called all of them. I said, okay, now, we're not talking about tribe here. We're talking about your own choice. You can't force your choice on me. Don't force your choice on anyone. Don't turn the church to a campaign ground. Okay, my son is saying this is who he loves to vote for. Okay, I'm saying this is who I'm going to vote for. It doesn't require you compelling people that this is who you have to vote for. We have seen so many leaders before now, who had promised so many things, who had promised, even during the time of Say Baba, this was how the virus was everywhere. Say Baba, he said he would do this. But why did it happen? Who kills no one? Major problem we expect too much from the nation, and you cannot offer your nation anything. It is not about what Nigeria is going to give to you. It's about what you're going to give to Nigeria. Why can't you go into farming? Why can't you go into some other things that will impact your generation? And stop complaining on or fighting on who you think
will deliver.
All right. Interesting.
Okay, since everybody's looking at me,
we're looking at
let me ask my question, another question. So I've noticed, because I'm following you now, I've noticed that you're doing a lot of charity work as well. I recently saw the video of the giving, and I appreciated that video because I saw how truly touched that woman was. She wasn't expecting it, and that's really, for her, changed her life. I saw how truly appreciative she was. My question is, how did you select? Because you're someone who does this regularly anyway. How do you select those people? What do you have of a background to know exactly what she needed and how to help her?
Yeah, I'm always being led by the Spirit of God. And most times I flash back to what I've been through. Because I remember there was a time my mother was a cleaner like that too. I would have to carry all the brooms, but we cleaned from one house to another. I remember when I was a bus conductor, I was serving people. I remember when I was sleeping inside Cairo Market at Oshodi. I remember so many. So most times when I see things like that, when I have that conviction to get it done, I get it done. But I want to tell you, all the things you're doing, seeing me do, and not that I'm doing hasn't been by myself alone. I have a lot of people around me who are supporting me. I have partners. Like I call BC and I said, BC, let us set up this woman. Okay, I will pay for the shop. Elijah, share you buy 50 cartons of Indomie. This will you. So we'll now use it to, do that for that person. At least out of 100, we've been able to touch one person. Because I believe a life of no impact is a life of no value. So I've done series about most of the video that sometimes goes around are being caught, edited by some people, like the one they edited where I was saying I'm a Yoruba boy. It was something that led to it, but I discovered who they paid for to cut that. So, and later I now brought out the whole video, what led to it. Because there was one Igbo girl in the church. I said, who will you vote for? She said she will vote for Obi. I said, now, look at how I've been able to teach you how to be courageous. I don't have to intimidate you because I'm your shepherd. In my presence, she said she will vote for Obi. I said, look at Igbo people, the way they celebrate each other. And I bless her.
Yeah.
I said, because you are not even afraid.
Yeah.
Because I'm not telling you this is who to vote for.
Exactly.
But nobody talked about when that person went to Abuja and a pastor was waving his flag.
Yeah.
That was an endorsement.
Yeah.
Another pastor from Jos was saying I can't really remember the name of the pastor. That anybody that does not vote for this person say, I hate hearing that word.
I focus on peace. So lots of pastors indeed have actually intimidated. You're right. You're absolutely
that
correct.
was crazy.
Across religion.
And I wasn't saying Holy Spirit said.
Yes.
I wasn't saying Holy Spirit said.
This is
I
your
was
own
just talking my
opinion.
mind, and I was teaching people before getting to that level.
Right.
So we have about 10, 20 pastors' videos that I saw. There was one pastor around Lekki who actually put it on his page. If I'd wanted to come for me, I would have come for him.
We have to go. But tell us. Tell us the day for your conference. We have to run. Tell us the day for your conference. Where is he? Is he just
October 9. October 9.
What's the date on? This is.
Yes, at Oriental Hotel, Grand Ball Hall.
Oh, really?
From 3 p.m.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
that's this weekend.
Yeah, Dr. Steve Akitayo. We're going to have Dr. Niya Adesanya. We're going to have BJ Sachs. Then we have Mike Abdul as well.
Okay.
But the conference is free.
It's free, obviously. It's Oriental, 3 p.m. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure having you here. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.
Thank you.